In 2021 and overlapping into 2022, the government paid an agency, PricewaterhouseCoopers, to conduct a feasibility study into a provincial police force for New Brunswick. Now, we don't have a provincial police force or service. What we do have, as we have been talking about the last few days, today is episode 46 of our target of feeling safer in our communities. What we do have are three forms of policing that I have been unpacking and talking about because, as I've been saying, when we talk about feeling safer, we need to understand our options. Then we can move forward with a plan. We have RCMP officers. We in New Brunswick have municipal and regional police services. And today I want to talk about the lesser known enforcement department, which is what the government calls it. And that is peace officers, okay, from the Department of Justice and Public Safety. So I want to put up a description because maybe you didn't even know about this. The RCMP are very ubiquitous, driving around in patrol cars and wearing uniforms. Same thing with regional municipal police. We're going to spend the next couple of days talking about peace officers in our province, where they came from, what they do, how they started. And I started this talk by mentioning the feasibility study of the provincial police, deciding if we should have a New Brunswick police force the way other provinces like Ontario do. And it was found that it would be about $260 million. That was the feasibility study. $260 million over 10 years to get a provincial police service up and running. So let's now that is the context that I want to bring in terms of the peace officers in our province. So justice and public safety peace officers is the third form of enforcement after RCMP and municipal and regional forces. And here's the job description up on the screen. The Department of Justice and Public Safety's peace officers are responsible for enforcing provincial relationships. Let me just turn off all these dingings. Uh, Responsible for enforcing provincial legislations related to conservation, commercial and off-road vehicles, and safer communities programs in the province. They include conservation officers, highway safety enforcement officers, and general investigators. Okay. What is the role of a justice public safety peace officer? These officers perform core duties in the areas of conservation, commercial and off-road vehicles, and safer communities programs. Okay, so that is the description, the mandate of peace officers in our province. Now, a little history of peace officers in the province, starting as far back as about 2018, there were 17 peace officers, according to government statements at the time, 17 peace officers throughout the province. And they were enforcing largely commercial vehicles on highways. So, sometimes we see trucks pulled over and behind them a vehicle that maybe we're not familiar with flashing lights. That would be the peace officers. So they were enforcing laws around commercial traffic. They were also, again, conservation officers enforcing laws on the trails throughout the many forested areas of New Brunswick, and hunting and fishing and things like that. So they were going out making sure people were properly licensed in hunting areas and things like that. That was primarily what the peace officers were doing. And again, there were about 17 officers in 2018. But over the next few years, and as of right now, we have seen the peace officer force expand to more than 60 officers and growing all the time. So I want you to think about the conversation we've had about the RCMP the last few days, the feasibility of a provincial police force. Think about the feasibility studies that have been done with and the proposals around regional municipal forces. Well, the peace officer force has been growing, and it's about $20 million per year now in the provincial budget, up from 17. So we are seeing that budget grow for the increased peace officer presence. Now, that is 5 minutes. That is my live for 5. This is a good place to give that a rest. And now I want to tomorrow talk about some of the things that these peace officers are doing as they expand, how they have been given more firearms, how that has happened, and how some feel that what we are seeing is the peace officer enforcement department, as the government calls them, is sort of becoming a substitute provincial police force. So $260 million would give us a police force proper, but instead we have an enforcement agency, $20 million a year, again, times 10, do some math there, and they are not actually police, and they are not actually removing the duties from the RCMP, or at least nobody would officially say that. The RCMP would not say that, and the Department of Justice would not say they're replacing proper police officers. You could see how that would be controversial. But what is really going on? And it's important for you to know and for us to explore this as we talk about options for feeling safer in our communities. This is number 5, just wrapping up public safety, feeling safer in our communities. 5 things that I want to do as your MLA and explore all the options. Join me again tomorrow. We'll delve more into peace officers, the important role that they play, and also how they have grown